Stop, Dad, don't drink that, the handkerchief is poisoned. Zara's scream ripped through the ballroom, slicing the music in half. Hundreds of heads whipped toward her, crystal glasses frozen mid-air. On stage, Malik Ibrahim, the groom and one of the richest men in the country, stood with his champagne glass inches from his lips. Stunned, the bride, Safia, still smiling, didn't flinch. Instead, her fingers tightened around the delicate white handkerchief in her hand. Zara's voice shook, but her eyes burned with urgency. I saw her wipe your glass with it. It's coated with poison. If you drink, you'll be dead in minutes. The grand ballroom glittered under crystal chandeliers, but now the air felt heavy, suffocating. The string quartet stopped mid-note. Guests whispered, their voices like rustling leaves in a storm. Malik lowered the glass slightly, his gaze darting. Between Zara and his new bride? What are you talking about? He asked, his tone measured but sharp. Safia laughed softly, her voice like silk over steel. Malik, she's just a child. Look at her. She's overwhelmed. Weddings can be emotional. I'm not overwhelmed, Zara said, stepping forward, her small frame trembling with adrenaline. I know what I saw. A hush fell over the room. Safia tilted her head, the picture of elegance. But there was something in her eyes, a flicker too quick for most to notice. But Malik caught it. Zara pointed at the handkerchief in Safia's hand. Test it, you'll find a toxin on it. The kind that works instantly once it touches your lips. Some guests scoffed. Others shifted uncomfortably. Malik's oldest friend leaned in and whispered, You have to shut this down before it turns into a scene. But Malik had built his empire by listening to instincts, and right now, they were screaming at him. Security, Malik called. Bring her to me. Two guards moved quickly, one taking the handkerchief from Safia, the other patting her clutch bag. Safia's tone sharpened. This is insane. I will not be treated like a criminal on my wedding night. The guard froze mid-search and pulled out a small glass vial filled with a pale blue liquid. A ripple of gasps swept across the room. Zara's voice broke but carried. Across the hall, That's the poison, Malik's jaw tightened. He turned to Safia. Explain this, her smile faltered. It's perfume. Someone planted it to humiliate me. Perfume doesn't kill people in seconds, Zara said. Her voice steady now. This is the same poison that killed my mother. The words hit Malik like a punch to the chest. His eyes widened. Your mother... Zara's lip trembled. She was your first wife? And I'm your daughter. She didn't die in an accident, Dad. She was murdered, and I've been waiting for proof ever since. The room erupted in chaos, guests shouting, cameras flashing, phones recording every second. Malik turned pale, his grip tightening around the champagne glass before setting it down slowly. Security, detain her, he said, nodding toward. SAF, IYA. As the guards took Safia by the arms, she twisted her head to glare at Zara. Her perfect smile returned, but it was ice cold. You think you've stopped me? This is only the beginning. Zara met her gaze without flinching. Then I'll be ready. Malik put a protective arm around Zara's shoulders. Tomorrow morning you'll tell me everything, from the very beginning. Outside, police sirens wailed, growing louder by the second. Inside, the once celebratory ballroom now buzzed with shock, fear, and 1,000 unanswered questions. And as Safia was led into the waiting police car, Zara knew this wasn't the end of the story. It was the opening move of a much bigger, much deadlier game. Police sirens wailed outside the Grand Hotel, red and blue lights flashing through the ballroom's shattered calm. Guests were still murmuring, some filming on their phones, others whispering about the scandal they had just witnessed. Malik stood in the center of the room, his arm still protectively wrapped around Zara's shoulders. Through the open doors, they watched as Safia, still in her pristine white gown, was led to the waiting police car. Even as the door closed, she kept her eyes locked on Zara, a cold, taunting smile on her face. Zara's breath hitched. She's not afraid, Dad, not one bit, Malik's jaw tightened. That's what scares me. The door of the police car slammed shut, and the vehicle pulled away into the night. The wail of the siren faded, but the tension in the air did not. Malik looked down at Zara. We're leaving, now. Within minutes, they were in Malik's limousine, the city lights blurring past the tinted windows. Neither of them spoke at first, the events of the night replaying in their minds like a storm they couldn't escape. Finally, Malik broke the silence. "How long have you known?" Zara swallowed hard. "About her?" "For months. About you, only a year." She met his eyes. "I didn't even know you were my father until I started following the trail." And every step led back to her. Malik's hand curled into a fist. "And you think she killed your mother?" "I don't think," Zara said firmly. "I know. She's been doing this for years, marrying powerful men, getting close enough to destroy them. You were her biggest prize." Malik exhaled slowly. Leaning back, "She's in custody now. She can't touch us." Zara shook her head. "You don't understand her. The second she's out, she come for us. And she make it personal." Neither of them noticed the unmarked black car that had been trailing them since they left the hotel. Inside, a man in a dark suit held a phone to his ear. "Yes," he said quietly. "The girl is with him. I'll keep eyes on them until she makes her move." When they reached Malik's estate, security guards were already on high alert. Gates locked, cameras scanned every angle, and guards patrolled with rifles. In his study, Malik poured himself a drink, but didn't take a sip. "You said you've been following her. How?" Zara opened her small purse and pulled out a worn leather notebook. "Every date, every place, every suspicious death. I've got bank records, coded messages," and she paused, pulling out a small USB drive. "This," Malik plugged it into his laptop. Dozens of folders appeared. Photographs of high society events, scanned documents, and encrypted chat. Logs. One message stood out. "Target. MI method. Stage accident. Backup. Handkerchief." Deadline, August 14th. Malik's face hardened. "August 14th. Today." Zara leaned forward. "She didn't just want to kill you. She wanted to humiliate you. Do it in front of the entire city." Before they could process further, Malik's head of security rushed in. "Sir, Safia's been released on bail. No one knows where she is." Malik stood slowly. "That was fast. Too fast." "She has friends in high places," Zara murmured. Malik turned to his security team. "Lock the estate, no one in or out. And double the guards on every entrance." That night, Zara couldn't sleep. She paced by her bedroom window, staring at the dark forest beyond the estate walls. Every rustle of leaves made her pulse quicken. At 3:17 a.m., she froze. A shadow moved near the back gate, tall, graceful, deliberate. She ran to Malik's room. "Dad, she's here." They rushed to the security room. On the monitors, floodlights caught the figure stepping into view. It was Safia, her wedding gown now covered by a long white coat. She looked directly at the nearest camera, her lips curling into a smile. In her hand was another white handkerchief. She mouthed 3 words. "Miss me yet?" Then she turned and vanished into the trees. Malik's voice was low, dangerous. "She's not running, she's hunting." Zara clenched her fists. "Then we hunt back." Far away, in a safe house lit by a single lamp, Safia sat at a table covered in fake passports, cash, and a pistol. Beside her lay a photograph of Zara. She traced her finger across the girl's face and whispered, "You have no idea what's coming." Her phone buzzed. A message appeared. "Everything is in place. The insider is ready." Safia's smile widened. "Good, let's finish what we started." Rain hammered against the estate's tall windows the next morning, but Zara didn't feel safe. Not after what she'd seen on the cameras last night. Malik sat at the head of the dining table, untouched breakfast in front of him, his phone kept buzzing with calls from business partners and lawyers, but he ignored them. His mind was on one thing only. "Safia, she's playing a game," Malik said quietly, stirring his coffee without drinking it. "And games are dangerous when you don't know the rules." Zara set her cup down. "Then we change the rules." Before Malik could answer, his head of security, Kareem, entered the room. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with a calm voice that always made people feel protected. "Sir, I've doubled the patrols. No one gets in without my say." "Good," Malik said. "Keep it that way." But as Kareem left the room, Zara noticed something, a faint smear of white fabric sticking out from his pocket. It looked familiar. Her mind flashed back to last night. The handkerchief in Safia's hand. The same fabric. Her stomach dropped. No. It can't be. Safe house. Same time Safia leaned back in her chair, phone pressed to her ear. Tonight? A deep voice asked on the other end. Yes, she said, her tone smooth as silk. During the security sweep? No noise, no mess. Just make sure he's holding the glass when it happens. The man chuckled darkly. Understood. She hung up, eyes glinting. They have no idea they let the fox into the henhouse. That night, the storm grew worse. Thunder rattled the windows, and rain blurred the security cameras in the control room. Kareem monitored the screens with unusual focus. Patrol unit, check the north fence, he ordered into his radio. Motion sensors are tripping. Zara entered the room quietly, watching him. You've worked for my father for how long? She asked casually. 6 years, Kareem replied without looking away from the monitors. And in those 6 years, have you ever been tempted by money? He finally turned to her, a slow smile on his face. Everyone has a price, Miss Zara, even your father. Before she could react, the lights flickered. The cameras went black for exactly 3 seconds, just enough time for something to happen. When they came back on, one camera showed the dining room. On the table sat a single glass of champagne. Zara's pulse spiked. She bolted from the control room toward the dining hall. Malik was standing there, talking to one of the guards, his hand reaching for the glass. Dad, no! She screamed, shoving the glass out of his hand. It shattered on the marble floor, champagne splashing across his shoes. Malik stared at her, stunned. Zara, she turned to Kareem, who had followed her in. You're working with her. Kareem didn't deny it. Instead, he stepped forward slowly. She told me you'd figure it out, and she told me to deliver you alive. 2 other guards suddenly drew weapons, not Malik's men, but Safia's. Take them, Kareem ordered. Outside. Hidden beyond the rain and darkness, Safia sat in the back of a black SUV, watching through binoculars. She smiled as Malik and Zara were surrounded. Time to come home. My darling, she whispered. The SUV's engine roared to life. Rain turned into sheets of silver as Malik and Zara were shoved toward the back hallway of the estate, the 2 armed. Guards flanked them while Kareem led the way. Malik's voice was calm, but there was steel in it. Kareem, you've made the worst mistake of your life. Kareem didn't even look back. No, sir. I've made the smartest. She pays better, and she knows how to keep her promises. Zara clenched her jaw. She doesn't keep anyone alive long enough to enjoy her promises. Kareem stopped and turned, his eyes cold. That's why I'm not crossing her. The group reached the side exit. The rain was relentless, drumming against the black SUV waiting outside, the same one Safia sat in. Inside, the sub-Safia watched as Kareem opened the rear door. Lightning flashed, illuminating Malik's face, calm but unreadable. Zara, however, glared at Safia like she could burn her alive with her eyes. Get in, Safia said softly, almost sweetly. No, Malik replied. Safia tilted her head. Still pretending you have a choice? How adorable. Kareem pressed, his gun against Malik's side. Malik stepped forward, but Zara spoke before he could climb in. Why me, Safia? You've already ruined his life? Isn't that enough? Safia's eyes narrowed. You think this is about revenge? Oh, my dear. This is about inheritance. The rated SUV sped through the storm, city lights disappearing behind them. Safia sat across from Malik and Zara, crossing her legs with the grace of a queen. Malik, your board still believes you're in control. They'll sign over full executive power to whoever you name in your will. And thanks to a little persuasion, you're going to name me. Malik's eyes flickered to Zara. And if I don't, Safia smiled faintly. Then your daughter dies first, slowly. Zara didn't flinch. You won't kill me. You like the game too much. Safia leaned forward, her perfume cutting through the damp air. True, but every game ends, darling. Every single one. Meanwhile, back at the estate, one loyal guard who had escaped Kareem's sweep, Amir, discovered the smashed champagne glass. His eyes widened as he saw the faint chemical sheen in the liquid. He grabbed his radio. Code red. The boss and his daughter have been taken. Repeat. Taken. Track all vehicles leaving the estate. The SUV pulled up to an abandoned shipping warehouse on the outskirts of the city. The storm masked the sound of the gates opening. Inside, dim yellow lights revealed crates, ropes, and a single metal chair bolted to the floor. Kareem shoved Malik into it, securing his hands. Zara tried to fight, but another guard grabbed her, forcing her to her knees beside him. Safia walked in circles around them, her heels clicking against the wet concrete. By sunrise, the papers will be signed. Then, Malik, you'll disappear in the most tragic boating accident the city has ever seen. And Zara, she paused, crouching down so their eyes met. You'll be the grieving stepdaughter who inherits. Nothing. Poetic, isn't it? Malik's voice was steady. You'll never get away with this. Sophia smiled, pulling a small vial from her coat. Oh, darling, I already have. She unscrewed the cap. The scent of bitter almonds filled the air. Cliffhanger ending outside, hidden in the shadows of the rain-soaked docks. Amir had followed them. His hand hovered over his gun as he whispered into his earpiece. I have eyes on the targets, waiting for your order to move in. Static crackled on the line. Then a voice replied, negative. Wait until she makes the drop. Inside, Safia lifted the vial over Malik's glass. The first drop fell, and the storm roared louder. The first drop of poison slid from the vial into Malik's glass. It swirled in the amber liquid, disappearing like it had never been there. Safia's eyes locked on Malik's. One sip, and everything you've built becomes mine. Zara's heart pounded. She scanned the room. Kareem by the door, 2 armed guards near the crates, and Safia just out of reach. No easy way out. Outside the warehouse, Amir gritted his teeth. The rain stung his face as he adjusted the scope of his rifle. In his earpiece, the order came again. Hold position, wait for my signal. But Amir's gut screamed now. He could see the tension inside. One wrong move and Malik was dead. Inside, Safia slid the glass toward Malik. Drink. Malik didn't move. Kareem stepped forward, grabbing Malik's hair and forcing his head toward the glass. Zara struggled against her captor, kicking and twisting, her voice breaking. Dad! Suddenly, a gunshot cracked through the storm. The glass shattered in Malik's hand, champagne spraying across the floor. Everyone froze. Shadow moved near the warehouse entrance. Amir, step away from them. He shouted, rifle aimed directly at Kareem. Safia's lips curled into a slow smile. Ah, the loyal dog. The turn in one swift motion. Kareem grabbed Malik, pulling him in front like a shield. Shoot me and he dies. Amir didn't flinch. Let him go, Kareem. You're in over your head. Kareem laughed bitterly. Over my head? No, Amir. I'm exactly where I want to be. And then the twist. Kareem suddenly shoved Malik toward Amir. Malik stumbled free. Amir caught him, but before relief could set in, Kareem spun his gun and shot one of Safia's guards. Zara's eyes widened. What? Safia's face turned from surprise to fury. You're betraying me? Kareem smirked. I never worked for you. I worked for him. He nodded at Malik. Double agent, sweetheart. And you just handed us everything we need to put you away forever. Chaos. The second guard lunged at Kareem. Shots erupted, echoing through the metal walls. Zara ducked behind a crate as Amir dragged Malik toward the exit. Safia bolted for the side door, her heels clattering against the wet floor. Don't let her escape. Malik shouted. Zara sprang up, sprinting after Safia. The storm outside roared louder, wind whipping her hair into her face. She saw Safia just a few feet ahead. Yanking open the back door of a black sedan, Zara lunged, grabbing Safia's arm just as she slid into the car. The 2 women locked eyes in the pouring rain. Safia's voice was low, almost affectionate. You really are my daughter's blood, fierce to the end. Zara's grip tightened. I'm nothing like you. The car screeched away, with both of them inside. Cliffhanger ending. Amir reached the gate seconds too late, rain streaming down his face as the sedan's taillights vanished into the storm. He slammed his fist against the fence. We just lost. Her, and Zara's with her. Malik's voice behind him was raw, almost breaking. Then we get her back, no matter what it takes. The storm raged on as the black sedan sped through the rain-slicked streets. Inside, Zara's grip on the door handle was white-knuckled. Sophia sat across from her, calm, eyes gleaming with that dangerous mix of charm and malice. You're really persistent, aren't you? Sophia whispered, voice like silk over steel. I admired that about my mother. But it's going to be the death of you. Zara didn't respond. She focused on her breathing, calculating her next move. Every second counted. Malik and Amir would be tracking them by now, and Zara had no intention of giving Sophia the upper hand. You think you can stop me? Sophia continued, leaning forward. I've spent years planning this. You're just a child playing detective in a world you don't understand. I may be young, Zara said, voice steady, but I know the truth. And I know enough to end you tonight. Sophia laughed softly. Brave words. I hope they don't get you killed first. Meanwhile, Malik and Amir Malik's hands gripped the wheel of his armored SUV. Beside him, Amir scanned the streets. Eyes sharp. I have her location, Amir said. She's heading toward the abandoned docks near the river. Perfect place to make a last stand. Malik exhaled sharply. Good, but be careful. She's smart, and she always has a backup plan, Amir nodded. We'll trap her. No mistakes this time. The chase the sedan turned into a narrow alleyway, tires skidding on the slick asphalt. Zara realized Sophia had taken her to an old warehouse by the docks, a place from which there was no easy escape. Sophia's hands gripped the steering wheel. You think your father can save you in time? You think anyone can? Zara's mind raced. If I can just distract her. Make her underestimate me. Suddenly, she kicked the dashboard, sending Sophia's attention to the windshield. The car swerved, narrowly missing a stack of crates. Careful! Sophia shouted, slamming her foot on the brakes. The vehicle skidded to a stop inside the warehouse. Rain poured through broken windows, pooling on the cracked concrete floor. Sophia jumped out, pointing a pistol at Zara. Nice try, she said, smirking. Zara raised her hands, feigning surrender. Okay, maybe I underestimated you. The confrontation Safi approached slowly. You should have stayed a child. You should have stayed afraid, but no, you had to come into my world. Zara's eyes flicked to a loose chain hanging from the ceiling, part of the old crane system. If I can just use that, Sophia raised her gun. End of the line. Before she could fire, Zara grabbed a metal rod from the floor, swung it, and knocked the gun out of Sophia's hand. The weapon skidded across the wet floor. Sophia's eyes widened in shock. You! Zara stepped forward, voice unwavering. This ends tonight. Sophia lunged at her, but Malik and Amir burst in through the warehouse doors. Malik tackled Sophia to the ground while Amir restrained Karim, who had tried to intervene. The final moment Sophia struggled, screaming, but Malik's grip was unbreakable. You thought you could destroy us, control everything, and get away with it, Malik said, voice cold. But greed and cruelty always have consequences. Zara watched as Malik cuffed Sophia. Her chest heaved, but she felt a strange calm. The danger was over. Karim was taken into custody. I thought I was doing the right thing, he muttered, eyes downcast. Zara shook her head. No, loyalty doesn't mean betraying others. That's what you didn't understand. Aftermath. The days that followed, the media exploded with the story. Malik's empire remained intact, but the world now knew the truth about Sophia's dangerous schemes. She was sentenced to life in prison for attempted murder, conspiracy, and fraud. Zara returned to school, but she was no longer just a teenager. She was the daughter who had saved her father, uncovered the truth, and faced danger head-on. Malik, grateful and proud, promised her that she would always have a voice in his life and in the empire he had built. Moral of the story sometimes. Courage isn't about being fearless, it's about standing up when fear tries to paralyze you. Truth, intelligence, and loyalty can defeat even the most cunning schemes. Betrayal and greed may seem powerful, but they are always temporary when met with honesty. Bravery and love, Zara learned that even in the darkest storms, staying true to yourself and protecting those you care about can turn the tide, and that one brave action can save lives, expose villains, and restore justice.